about this. Um, about this whole Xbox thing going on. I guess the Charlene Zart made a video about this. She works in the industry. She was part of like the God of War team, the Ragnarok in the first one, or the reboot one. I guess she knows more about the game industry than a lot of people that like they could give their opinions about it. But I want to see someone. I want to see this video because she actually works in the industry, so I wonder what she has to say about Microsoft.
My channel is sponsored by Factor, which means we'll have.
If you guys don't know, Microsoft has been making some weirdo decisions. Hi-Fi Rush, the publisher for that, or like the company that made the developers for that, they got fired pretty much, or like they got shut down, which is so weird. It's one of the weirdest thing ever. It's one of the most playable, most fun games of all time. What I read, what I saw, I've been wanting to play it for a while now. Just haven't had a chance to as well for the longest time. Car accident. But yeah.
We'll have an ad from them somewhere in the middle of this video. In case you somehow missed this news, Microsoft/Xbox shut down 4 game studios this week, including Tango Gameworks, who most recently made Hi-Fi Rush, which in my opinion is the most underrated game of last year. That game is incredible. And Arcane Austin, who are known for making also a bunch of incredible games, obviously a blunder with Redfall, which was their most recent release, but they also made Prey. That game is so good, and have worked on Dishonored. Feels weird to say because it's only 2 games for whatever reason, but probably one of my favorite game franchises ever. They also shut down an extra 2 studios that I'm not as familiar with. One of them is AlphaDog Games, the maker of mobile game Mighty Doom, and Roundhouse Studios, which is being absorbed by the Elder Scrolls Online developers ZeniMax Online Studios. Bunch of extra context here that's important before I get into the things that I feel like I want to say today. Today I wanted to go out of my way to like explain some things that I think that maybe gamers haven't realized yet, that like the industry knows, but gamers haven't realized yet. But I'll give you more context first. So the article goes on to say Microsoft currently valued at over 3 trillion. I can't even fathom that amount of money. The way that I ever try to picture amounts of money that are unfathomable to me is like, if you pictured each of those dollars as people in a large room, how big is the room? 3 trillion? I have no concept of how big that is. That's too big. The number's too large. They did not say how many staff will lose their jobs, but significant layoffs are inevitable. IGN has asked Bethesda for comment. Microsoft declined to expand further when contacted by IGN. But yeah, obviously everybody seemingly at Arcane Austin and Tango has lost their jobs. Some of those people, I believe, were folded into other developers, and some people in the actual corporate side at Bethesda were also laid off. Of course, goes without saying, this absolutely sucks. It sucks. This one is especially devastating to me because I kind of thought that we were through it. Felt like we hadn't had layoffs in a minute. If you haven't seen my GDC speech, I wrote this very spicy speech for this year's Game Developers Conference, basically just calling out the industry for doing this. And at GDC, I feel like things felt a little more positive. Like it really did feel to me like people thought we were through the worst of it. So I did not expect this, and it sucks. And it sounds like from some of the reports that have come out afterwards, this might not be it. There might be more layoffs coming in 2024, which is unfathomable because we've already had so many layoffs, one of the worst years in the history of the games industry. And before you tell me it's happening to other industries as well, I know that whenever I talk about this, people go, this is every industry. I get that, but I'm talking about video games here. I work in the games industry. Like, it's like I'm not saying other industries don't also have layoffs. Like, what? Shut up. Yeah, Arcane Studios had to post it. It's super devastating for everybody. Obviously, the people affected the worst are the people who've lost their jobs. But what also gets me about this one is,
which, you know, the crazy thing about it too. If you look at like the recent news with EA, have you guys saw like what they talked about EA? They really want to implement a lot more AI, but not where like they want to use AI where it will help save time, like get rid of the grunt work. They want to implement AI where they want to save at least 50% money on their video games, which is like, I understand like saving money, right? Like, because I mean, someone like costs have gone way too crazy. Let's be honest. But the way they're going about it is, uh, uh wait, what? Okay, we got some Kendrick and Drake news right now, guys. Okay. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about the Kendrick. Like this, what the? I did not expect that. Anyways, but yeah. So like, the way that the EA is going about it with AI, it's like pretty bad. I mean, we already know there's gonna be more a lot jobs lost and stuff like that. We already know all of this. Let's see real quick. Let's see if I can find it. Cause yeah, damn, EA has been going down actually in their stocks and all that. Let's see. Oh, right. Here we go. Not just AI, by the way. Look, we saw EA CEO Andrew Wilson says they're looking into ways to put ads into major games. Like, what do you mean ads? Like, imagine you're playing a game and then the ad play out of nowhere. I don't think they're talking about that. I think they're talking about like what the movies do. They always put like maybe they have like certain foods like a Krispy Kreme donut you're eating like on GTA 6 or something. Or like in Star Wars, you eat a specific food like Starbucks drinks. Oh my god.
If you're going to shut down a studio like Tango, who just made Hi-Fi Rush, which, according to posts from leadership at Xbox, was a success that reviewed very well, that's now out on multiple platforms. If these two aren't safe with a $3 trillion company backing them, nobody is safe. Nobody in the games industry is safe. No studio you love is safe. Everyone is at risk of being shut down. And that should terrify you. It terrifies me, not just as somebody who works in the games industry, but as somebody who like loves a lot of these game studios. Like, this is just so fucking sad. But here's what I wanted to talk about. Why this is happening and why it's only going to get worse. And there's one...
Yeah, that's something too, like the signs and stuff around the maps. Yeah, but like the thing is, like... All right, I would love to ask this question. Would more ads on games hurt the experience of the story of the game? Right? Obviously, it, like for GTA 6, oh my god, that makes perfect sense, right? For them to have ads of like current stuff, like restaurants and certain foods and music. I get that, right? GTA 6. But with EA, I'm kind of thinking like, okay, it makes kind of sense maybe with Madden, I guess, with also FIFA in certain ways. But Star Wars games? I don't think so. Like, you know what I mean? Like, how they can implement that? So is he talking about like certain games, or trying to like the whole shebang of their catalog? But that's what a lot of people thinking are doing right now. Like, it's like pay $70 for a game, sit through a 30-second ad while game leads into a map, loads into a map. Bro, I even thought about that. What if they decided to do it, Ghost? What if EA actually decides to put an actual ad when you're like in a loading phase or something, which is very rare, by the way, nowadays, right? With like the power of gaming. But what if they like, oh, the game's so big, guys, it's gonna need at least like 5 seconds to load to the next part, right? On certain areas. But while you wait those 5 seconds, here's an ad. Oh my god. Okay, sorry. I'm like
real big point of this that I want to discuss. I guess 2. Hey, maybe even 3. Who knows? So many things to say. Mostly, wow, is this fucking depressing. So the first thing, you will occasionally see a response of, if they just make good games, this won't happen. Should have just made a good game then. That's what happens when you make Redfall. Should have just made a good fucking video game if you didn't want to get shut down. The quality of the video game is irrelevant. The quality of the video game is irrelevant. The quality of the game is not relevant. And that is a thing that I think like gamers, people who enjoy video games, myself as a video game consumer, should be a lot more concerned about than they are. It is time to talk about Factor, which is a meal delivery service that I've been using for well over a year now. I started using it when I started boxing, and it made my life so much easier that now I use it every single week. So if you aren't familiar, Factor is a meal delivery service that provides delicious, ready-to-eat meals. Every fresh, never frozen meal is chef-crafted, dietitian approved, and ready to eat in just 2 minutes. It makes
also most food is better when you bake it, not use the goddamn microwave.
It's very easy for somebody like me who like, I feel like I always have so much to do. I'm always so busy. I don't have to think about what I'm gonna eat. I just heat it up, wait for it to cool down, and then eat it on the go. It saves me a ton of money because I know ordering takeout, and I know exactly what the nutritional content of the food that I'm actually eating is. I know how much protein I'm getting in a day, which is a thing that I try really hard to pay attention to. You can choose from a weekly menu of 35 options, including popular options like Calorie Smart, Keto, Protein Plus, or Vegan and Veggie. Plus, discover more than 60 add-ons every week like breakfast, on the go, lunch.
I'm actually good with a lot of my protein and stuff. I drink 2 smoothies a day that I make myself, and I make sure I have everything that I need within those smoothies, like different like vitamins and stuff.
Snacks and beverages to help you stay fueled and feel good all day. I have the add-on for wellness shots every week. Just give me an extra few ingredients that I otherwise don't get in my diet. And I love them. So many of these meals taste so good. I recommend Factor super highly. So if you want to get started, get 50% off your first Factor box and 20% off your next month of orders using my link. Click the link in the description or scan the QR code with your phone. Huge thank you to Factor for sponsoring the video. Now back to the video. The quality of the games is irrelevant. Here's something that I think perfectly paints a picture of the landscape that we're in that I have had a lot of people ask me about. This is from March 5th. I'm sourcing Gamerant here, and it says Warner Bros. Want to focus on live service games instead of one and done titles like Hogwarts Legacy. This came right after the failure of Suicide Squad and the tremendous success.
By the way, guys, I think she's gonna talk about it. Suicide Squad lost $200 million. Company needs to realize not every game has to be live service. I do understand why they want to make a live service game, but you can't be like, yo, we're going all live service in every single game. That's like, it kind of feels, what? Not everybody has time to play live service games. That's common sense. Not everybody wants to spend money on every single live service game they play. That's common sense. There's some people that just want to play a game when they're like a couple hours here and there, and then finish the game and be done with it. That's common sense. Oh yeah, just put 0. Goes. Yeah. Just put 0. The 0 plus is just like if people want to like they want to tip me $1, right? Or $2 or 50 cents, like, or something like, I don't know if you could do 50 cents. But like the $0 is straight. It's 1% free. It's just 0 there. And yeah, it just says 0 plus, just like if people want to tip me for like the wallpaper stuff I'm making and stuff. Which again, I'm not like asking people to do it. I'm just like, you just put 0. Yeah. Just put 0. Just put 0. You get them all for free. No tax, no charge, nothing like that. Yeah, just put 0. Yeah. Like again, it's not like a I don't want to become like one of those like what do you call it, crazy tip person. You know what I mean? Like, tip this person now. How much you want to tip? Like, no. No, and I just try to make my own income any way I can, kind of stuff. But this is just people that want to feel like any generous. That's all. It's like that's all it is for.
Of Hogwarts Legacy, and yet they are still choosing to go live service games instead of one and done titles that were very commercially successful. This is the reason quality doesn't matter, good doesn't matter. Why are they doing this? Why are they making live service games when they just had a huge flop, when Redfall just flopped? Why is there this focus on this thing that is clearly not working when you could instead make something like Hogwarts Legacy, which is a huge IP that a lot of fans enjoyed? The answer is the reality of the industry that we're in right now, and why I think things are going to get so much worse for gamers. Every single AAA game right now is a risk. Making any game that is that expensive to make is a risk. Making a Hogwarts Legacy, huge risk. The reality of going live service, which I'm sure we're going to see so much of, instead of going for more games like Hogwarts Legacy, which again, you would have considered a success, is that it is less risky for it to fail. Hey there, Gamer Future Alana here. I feel like I could have phrased this a little more succinctly. Both sides are risks. It's just that one risk has potentially like exponential gain. You know what I mean? It's risky to make a AAA game live service or single player. Both are hugely risky. It's just that the risk has more of a chance of paying off with like an infinite amount of money if you go live service. Does that make sense? Arcane could have made Dishonored 3 and it could have gone...
I understand what she's saying, Pima. It's like, okay, so the game may not last for a while, but it'd probably make enough money where at least we break even or makes them to profit, right? If the story sucks, there's no way of making money at all, right? Like, for example, Suicide Squad, right? It lost a lot of money, 200 million. But I wonder how much money they actually gained from their DLC and add-on content, right? It may not be, it wasn't a lot, but at least they gave something back. At least it was done and done. I mean, but the weird thing is that game was like they sold the game and they sold DLC stuff too as well. So I don't know the whole idea of it. I promise you guys, like if they actually made Suicide Squad for free, they would have more players. Even though the game's a little bit more repetitive, even though the game is like doesn't have like a super great DLC or whatever, I personally believe it would have been more better because at least people were like, all right, this is free, and let them we could wait until they fix the game to make it more fun, more better, etc. Stuff like that, and build off of that, right? They could have done that, but they did. They sold the game for like $70 first, and then sold DLC. Rocking it everywhere. Wait, what? Oh, the wallpapers. There's a few of them. I gotta fix some of the wallpapers because I finally figured out how to do better wallpapers, like quality wise, like how to structure them better.
10 out of 10s, and players could have loved it. But if it didn't make an unfathomable amount of money, and that's the reality that we're in, it's like just profit isn't enough. It has to be year-over-year profit. These companies have to make more money than they did last year because of capitalism. So just being successful is not enough. So any AAA game that you make that does not have a live service component, that doesn't have built-in battle passes, doesn't have built-in microtransactions, doesn't have an option for a bunch of players who act like whales to spend a whole lot of money and continually support that ecosystem is a huge, huge risk. And it is a better financial bet from these companies that are businesses and see themselves as businesses at this point. They don't see themselves as creative outlets. They don't see themselves as art. The dev teams do. The publishers don't. You can have a studio make a really good game that is a one and done title like a Hogwarts Legacy that people really, really like, but it's still a random risk of if it will take off or if people will play it or if enough people will spend money on it. So it is a safer bet from a business standpoint to attempt a live service game, which may be cheaper in some ways, might not be in other ways, and to potentially have it blow up and get huge and make a bunch of money from a recurring and dedicated player base than it is to take the AAA single player risk. There's no amount of quality guarantees income to the level of income that they have come to expect. The live service game could fail, but it failing is still a better risk to take than making a AAA single player one and done experience at this point. The quality of the games doesn't matter. Anyone can get laid off and shut down, except for a studio that's making a live service game that is continuously getting profit. Now, we're also in a unique landscape right now that I think has just caught up to these executives. I touched on this on a stream the other night, but what you're currently in is a time war. This is a very new thing. I think COVID really kicked this into overdrive. This isn't a games industry thing anymore. This is a entertainment in general thing where they are all warring for your time. Your Xbox is also competing against your Netflix, is competing against your Twitter, is competing against your Instagram for the most amount of time they can get from you. And every single one of these entertainment services is designed to get as much time from you as possible to
This is what, like, bro, there's like, not everybody has all the time to play every single game they want to play. Not everybody has the time to spend any money they want to play. Like, bro, this is why live service games are the most stupidest thing ever. Where like you want to make one sale every so often, but once the market cannot be fully saturated because there's how many live service games are an average person plays? Like let's be honest. I don't think a lot. Like maybe one or two. Like they actually spend time and money on this. You know what I mean? Not many. Not many. I only play one, and that's Yu-Gi-Oh! Right? Like that. Like it's like kind of like a gotcha kind of like thing. But I play it for free. I don't spend any money on it, and I put a lot of time in it. I play the events. I play this. I get my cards I want, and it's really fair. Like for me personally, and I have a lot of fun with it. But you really think I'm gonna start playing Overwatch, Overwatch 2 or Marvel Rivals? Like put a lot of time in that? Am I gonna put a lot of time in like in Fortnite or League of Legends or anything like that? Like maybe like the next game I'm gonna do for like a live service or like a free like game. It's 2KXO. I believe that's free, right? I don't know if it's gonna be 100% free, but we'll see. But yeah, that game I'll put time in it because I'm into fighting games, right? But it's like I'm not gonna put in more time. People probably have to drop a game, right? Like for example, like Fortnite could be replaced at this point, right? Because not people like Fortnite. The way the structure it is, Marvel Rivals could replace Fortnite. It has the known title. It has known characters, known like the same kind of structure of gameplay and stuff. And they could just like, you know what? I'm dropping Overwatch. I'm not gonna put time into it anymore. I'm just gonna put more time into Rivals. Like not everybody has a lot of time to put every like time on every single game unless you're a content creator. It's like so freaking dumb, man.
Prevent you from clicking away to make sure that once you engage, you stay engaged. And that is very difficult for a game that ends in 20 hours. It is really hard for them to keep you coming back to that same service repeatedly, day after day, when you have spare time. They want you to be opening up your Xbox and looking at the Microsoft Store, seeing things advertised to you, or potentially spending money on microtransactions instead of spending time on Instagram or TikTok. You are in an enormous time war where the most valuable currency that you as a consumer have is your time, and you are competing against multi-trillion-dollar corporations. What does it mean? For your time. They are doing everything they can, throwing every resource at you that they can to consume every second that you have. It sucks. Like, I don't think this is fixable. I think that this is...
I think that, like, this is why the stupidest thing ever. This is why story-based games are very good still, right? They're more risk, but when you get it right, you make a lot of money and you make a lot of profit. Where you're, it's like done and done, but you still make money when people like later on in the years will play it, will buy it in a different platform, right? Like for PlayStation, right? Like God of War, Ragnarok, people loved it, people had fun with it. Now they're gonna release it on PC. Now Spider-Man 2, people loved it, people had fun with it. Now they're gonna make more money by releasing on PC. You know what I mean? So I'm just saying, like, I would say I know they're like really titles. It's not really fair for like new titles, stuff like that. But I think even Stellar Blade made a lot, like made profit. Story-based games, I think that like companies should balance story-based games with also live versus games. I think that's the best way to go about it, because when a consumer, or like when I hear, oh, we're just working on live service, I like, no, I'm good. I'm not the consumer. That's why indie games are topping the charts. I saw Donkey's game developer, I forgot what it's called, like they released a game called Atom or something, and it was like the top, and almost every single top game on Steam charts is all indie, no AAA. I wonder why. Because good price and good content.
Is like just, and yeah, the appeal of live service spans a lot of facets of the games industry, but it's really that it can steal all of your time all the time. It can compete with a TikTok. They can do something to get you to spend all of your time on it and thus potentially increase the amount of times you will spend money on that thing. Making a good game is irrelevant. Making a great story that you can play for 15 hours is irrelevant. They want as much of your time as possible. Think about what you do with your time. So a couple of other facets of this that I want to touch on. This is a very doom and gloom video, I know it is. I'm just really sad. Like, I feel like I'm watching an industry that I love die. Single player games are not dying. Like, it's not happening 100% across the board. There's still a lot of value for those, for certain companies. Like, not all of them are going to die, and that's a thing everyone's been saying for a long time. But obviously there is an overwhelming shift in that direction. Okay, so like, I'm not saying they're all gone. It's just a WB, a third-party publisher especially, you're probably going to see more of them make the changes that they've just said that they're going to make. That's it. Because it's less financially risky. So the second part, I see a lot of people say, time for indies to rise up. The indie space has got it. Indies are going to kill it. Let's keep playing indies. They're the creative ones anyway. I have terrible news for you, my friend. Things are just as bad in the indie space. Indie studios shut down all the time. You just don't hear about them because you haven't heard of them. It makes news headlines when Arcane shuts down. It doesn't make news headlines when the indie studio you haven't heard of shuts down. Facet of the industry is no less volatile than...
Well, yeah, I mean, I get that, but it's like, they're like startup companies. Not every startup company makes it like out of the field and all that, and they have to start over or try something new or something like that. I mean, they're indie, right? But it's not like, it's kind of like every new business takes a long time to become successful, all right? Like, that's why it's a big risk, especially new ones.
AAA is right now. They're in the same place. In fact, it's really hard for indies to get publishers right now. It's very difficult for indie games to get funded right now. The indie space being some haven where this is not happening and they can be creatively expressive. Not true, unfortunately. A lot of indies are falling right now as well and are going to continue to fall right now as well. There are some AAA game devs who've like been talking about leaving AAA and going to indie to save this, and every time that I see that, I'm like, dude, please talk to people who actually work in the indie space before you like jump ship and leave AAA to go straight to indie. Because while they will fight harder to keep everybody, like indies have a lot less people, so the individual people are more valuable, paid less, but more valuable usually. They're less likely to lay people off because they're more likely to shutter the whole project. Indie is no more safe. Indie is absolutely no more safe right now. The third point is to the response of, what about Baldur's Gate 3? People will say, what about a Baldur's Gate 3? Well, what about Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom? These are certainly still games that are going to come out and will still exist, and studios that have huge legacies A FromSoft can get away with this, a Larian can get away with this, a Nintendo can get away with this. They have huge legacies, big IP, and very focused leadership that is almost fighting against the climate. Those games are still going to exist, but they are exceptions. And so what I'm saying is the only way to get a Baldur's Gate 3 or an Elden Ring is to be a studio with a huge legacy, with a very experienced, knowledgeable team, and usually an IP, usually. Because for vast majority of studios who tried to do what Larian did with Baldur's Gate 3, it's going to shutter the studio. It's not going to work. That risk is too high. They are going to fail and they are going to shut down. And Sven, the head of Larian, has said so many wonderful things. His GDC acceptance speeches, his Game Awards acceptance speeches, where he's just calling out the industry for being greedy and for not having to do what they're doing. He's 100% right. Like, the industry is choosing to shut these studios down. They're lying to you when they're saying it's a necessity. It's a choice. It's a choice because the profits are not high enough. The area where it is a necessity is that they just answer to the stock market. It's not like it's a group of people in a room sitting there and being individually evil and saying, let's fucking tank the whole games industry, live service, let's get as much money as possible. Like, it'd be way easier if that was true. But really, it's just a bunch of people whose jobs it is to appeal to shareholders, to appeal to the stock market, just doing that because their whole job is to make sure arrow go up. And like, even if one of those executives were to look at a Baldur's Gate 3 and be like, huh, that did really well, let's try and do that. The next executive next to them would slap them because any live service game that is successful is infinitely more successful. It's so much more successful than a Baldur's Gate 3. It makes so much more money that why would you make even the single player experience that was expensive when you could make the live service game that's expensive that has more potential gain, right? I'm sorry about this video. So what do you do? What do you do? The only thing I think you can do is buy games you like. Think about what you put your time towards and buy games you like. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have a lot of positive shit to say for you. It's bad.
I would just say this: stop playing live service games, guys. Move on from them. Play games like indie games and story-based games. Fuck live service games. I'm sorry. No, honestly, the entertainment industry is gonna be changing forever. It's not just in video games. It's on comic books, TV shows, anime, toys. Like the shebang industry is changing. More than just that, but like the whole thing is changing. This is why like a lot of people try to have like backups and stuff, or try to have other sources of revenue coming in. So you don't have to like be really like truly stressed out about all this kind of thing. But it is tough, man. Like me, I barely make any money right now. Because again, I was gone for a year. Or like somewhat a year, right? Like not making any new art, not making new content, just making art that I already had. And damn, and also no commissions, no like again, nothing new. And so that hurt me a lot, and I'm really trying to recover everything now again, right? Like trying to sell a new product, make some sales, like get people buy some stuff, try to get more commissions now again. But again, the whole industry has changed now, right? So it's like even I'm making like backup plans already, which I should have done a long time ago. Don't get me wrong, of just going back to college and just go for a different degree that's going for a job that won't like pretty much lose my livelihood, right? And luckily I already graduated college, so I don't have to do like the whole like general classes. But yeah, I'm pretty sure every artist is like already getting to that point, right? Where I was seeing like a lot of posts already. Like it's super sad, by the way. Some of my Twitter posts, like, "Hey guys, we had a good run. We did this, we did that, but it's time for me to put like pretty much quit being an artist full time, and I'm just gonna do other things. Doesn't mean I'm gonna start doing art, but you know, I'm just gonna do other things and focus on that." Because I need to think about my livelihood and bills, etc., stuff like that, just like everybody else does, right? Like I hate to like I wish it wasn't all about the money, but it is about the money. You got to make it somehow, some way. That's why that's why I'm gonna give it my all this whole year. Like since I'm still killing for my art, to see what's gonna happen. You know, again, I'm not saying like I'm not trying to like the one thing I'm always trying to avoid is trying to make money off like Twitch and Kick as much as possible. Like what I mean by that is like I'm not trying to like feel like I'm e-begging or whatever, right? I think that's the term, right? I just want to make good content, and people want to be generous, like by buying something from the store and or subscribing. It's fucking phenomenal and awesome. But it's like I do not want it where it be like where I become one of those streamers like, hey guys, I need you guys to subscribe today, and you guys to donate at least $20 so I can pay my bills. You know what I mean? Like I do not want to become that person, like pretty much Boogie. I don't want to become a Boogie. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to become that. So yeah, man, the whole industry is all like it's all a twist. EA they want to make more money with ads and all that, and then is that the price that we eventually have to pay guys in order just to like have a good balance of like so they keep a lot of the workers? Like holy shit. Yo, what up, Buttercup? I think it's worth mentioning the vast majority of people playing video games are not on the type of people that watch this video, nor the people who care about the Prey or High Fright Rush. Those those are the people that publisher executive are aiming for. They're competitive with their Netflix for the time, not for the people that actually love games. Just normal dudes who play a bit of FIFA, GTA, Fortnite sometimes, and they are the market, not us. Pretty much. What up? Yeah, we're just talking with the like the Xbox industry, the game industry, how like they've gone downhill right now. A lot of people are losing their jobs. And he's right. I mean, the general market is boring. The general market of gamers are boring as fuck. They just want to play a FIFA, a Madden, and GTA, and that's it. Oh, and Fortnite. Those four type of games. That's it. That's it. That is it. Those are like that's what like they want to make more of those type of games. You know what I mean? Boring ass gamers, man. But that's the general public place. Is those boring ass games? They like their NBA K or 2K, whatever you want to call it. They like their Fortnite. They like their Call of Duty. They like their GTA. You know, and GTA. I'm not saying like they're not boring games. I'm just saying like their list of games is boring. Like that's all they play. They don't play indie games, no story based games, no something more unique, roguelikes, whatever. Right? I know I get it. Everybody has their own taste, but that's like their main. And that's what every company wants to get, make, and create. Why did like think about Suicide Squad? They made it into a shooter. Why do you think they made it to a shooter? It's because that's what like the market. Yo, we want to be the next Call of Duty. We want to be the next Fortnite, but this time with a little story twist or whatever. And you get the idea, right? And it fell miserably. They fell bad. They lost $200 million because they're goddamn idiots. Instead, like I'm like, bro. And here's the thing: Rockstar already had they already had like what do you call it a reputation of making really good games, right? If they just made Suicide Squad into a story-based game, it would have made money. They wouldn't be losing 200 million. They would actually gain 200 million. You know what I mean? Like if you heard Suicide Squad stories-based game based on Arkham fighting against Justice League, aka Brainiac is here. Holy shit, are you serious? And you search the map like you do like in Batman. Holy shit, that are you fucking in? That's insane. That'd be like people are like get super hyped about that, bro. Right? People like that's why when people announced Suicide Squad for the first time, just the name, people were super excited. Like, holy shit, man! And then when they saw the trailer with the shooter, it's like, who gives a shit, right? The same thing was like with Gotham Knights. The problem with the Gotham Knights is they try to make it a light service, like goddamn idiots like Avengers. I know they worked on it around the same time, but like if Gotham Knights became like they focused really on like the core story, they built off the map, they don't focus on light service, and like you could actually do a co-op like here. That's actually a cool concept. Don't get me wrong, but it's like Gotham Knights fell and has so much potential too as well. I'm gonna play Gotham Knights and Suicide Squad eventually, but when they're free or super cheap. But yeah, man, it just sucks how the game industry is right now. But like she is right. Just play the games you want. Play the games you want to support. Don't try to pirate it. Like private, like the games are like bullshit, but don't pirate the games that are not bullshit. Like for example, Hades 2 is a good developers, good game, good content, good role. Like I would love to play Hades 2, but I just don't have $30 to spend right now. But what I've seen is phenomenal gameplay again. Obviously the same format as the first Hades, but it's like new villains and bad guys, stuff like that. You know what I mean? So yeah. Support those games, man. In my opinion, like screw the triple A's at this point. But yeah, it is what it is, man. It sucks where the industry is going, man. It really does.
There's my nice uplifting video for today, you guys. Hope you all feel great. I'm just really sad. I'm just really sad. If you're gonna fucking shut down Tango, Hi-Fi Rush was so good, and it just, what's the point? What the fuck are we doing? By the way, I'm so sorry that I had to put an ad read in this video. I had to for time reasons, like it was required.
Also, you gotta make that money, man. Hey, if I get an ad, if I get sponsored, I'll do it. I don't care. Like, I'll make an ad, even if it's a sad video. Hey guys, what's I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I don't think I'll ever get sponsored, but if that ever happens, it'd be so funny. Like, hey guys, today it's a sad video, but did they ever sponsored by this? Hey man, we all gotta make their money somehow, right? That's why I never judge when people do ads on videos, honestly. Even if it's like a satellite video like this, I guess you can say. Like gaming, I guess you could say. It's because, hey, everybody's gotta make their money, you know what I mean? That's just how the world works. Just like go watch my video, guys, on YouTube. Every ad helps, even though I only make $1.49 every thousand views. Feels bad, man. Wait, hold up. I want to see how much money have I made with my recent video, like my original video. I think I made 50 cents. I don't even know how much money I made on YouTube, by the way. I really don't care, if I'm being honest. I really don't care, really. Right now, I don't. Right now, it's all about building, right? The whole point of the YouTube channel is to build, not... I made 74 cents, guys. I almost made $1. I almost made $1, guys. Hell yeah. I'll take that. I'll take that any day. You know what I mean? I'll take that any day. But yeah. But how's everybody doing today, guys? Honestly, how you guys doing? Have a good weekend? Oh, I forgot in the video. Getting in the video here, guys. Sorry.